When do you abandon your farm? Is it when animals don't want to work? Is it when they don't want to make the windmill? Is it when people start stealing your food and you start seeing people die in winter? When do you abandon the farm?
The solution, you don't abandon the farm to begin with, Mr. Jones.
No one talks about Animal Farm. No one spreads about Animal Farm. No one invites other people from other farms because there could be corrupt socialist ass jerks. So, yeah, you can't win
The Animal Farm.
on the farm.
You can only
You can't
suffer.
invite humans because they don't like you.
You can't
They have
invite
2 legs.
and 2 legs are bad.
Yes, 4 legs, good. Maybe 8 legs, decent.
Yeah, they never really did address what happens if you have someone with more than 4 legs.
Yeah, see, I feel like this is a fairly faithful adaptation of the famous book. And like when I saw this, I'm like, hey, this is really cool. Like, and it's been a long time since I read the book. So have you read the book?
I've seen the summary of it.
Okay. I read it a long time ago. I think I read 1984 before Animal Farm. And I have a thick book of his life, George Orwell's life. And like, I think this is one of those books right up from 1984, like when you've read it and then you reread it, you gain a greater appreciation, especially under COVID. Right now, I feel like people are starting to realize, like, is there really a virus, and is this virus as
Deadly as it is.
as they claim? And right now, I'm not seeing that. I'm starting to see more propaganda, and I think people are starting to see the wheels. So it's sort of interesting how this game came out, I think, in the last 6 months. And like, I remember vaguely lines from this game. Like, they've done such a great job, I feel like, implementing lines from the actual book and like telling sort of this a vague version of the story, having like, you know,
multiple endings, achievements too. Like you can have like characters
sending in certain characters to die, sacrificing.
Yeah, you can have like characters die differently
for the good of socialism.
Yeah, like so in like
It's funny because this feels like more of like a socialistic
simulator
than like a fascist. Like there's parts where it sort of shows like authoritarianism.
Well, I think the premise is it basically is more of a cautionary tale of how socialism could easily turn to fascism.
Yeah, well that's the book for sure, and it really shows like what I thought this game did a really good job is like it starts off with promise, kind of like what's that book with the pigs? They're stuck on the island. I can't remember the name.
Lord of the Flies?
Lord of the Flies, that's it. I was gonna be like, Lord of the Pigs? No, that's not right.
And I'm like, wait.
And I've read that too, and like,
it starts off as this utopia and then it starts trying to shit them.
I think the game does a really good job at like, sort of the different twists, like, certain animals aren't happy, and then they're silenced, and then
you have to like try and like...
rats, and their meetings sort of inciting rage.
Rebellions. Yeah, and it's also down to your choices too.
And that's what makes this even more interesting. Like, the book is static, but the way you play through this game, certain people die, the humans, the pigs.
And they really give you, like, they make you very, like, empathetic towards the farm and its characters. Like, I've had moments where I mourned the loss...
to make you feel that way, Nikki.
Like, there are moments in the game where I mourned the loss of an animal.
Yeah.
And then there are times where I'm like, okay, you sacrifice yourself for the good of the country.
And the interesting thing about the game versus the book is, like, you feel bad, but then there's other times when I saw you playing and you're like, we're gonna sacrifice him. So
yeah,
like, so the game sort of makes you feel like you could potentially be a dictator yourself.
Yeah, or even just one of those
animal dictator.
Like I've seen people who play Undertale, they play genocide route, and the game basically goes like, this is what happens when people go out of their way to accomplish the darkest endings when they didn't even need to.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like this game is done really well. Like they've tried to adapt this to.
And I think they've done it masterfully and made it so that it's like if you branch off the path, certain events will happen differently.
Yeah, and it's cool that it only is 7 years. Like I thought it was 5 years, but you almost got to the end of the game.
Yeah, I just needed to survive one more year.
But what was interesting was how like the history repeats, and I think they set up the game that way. It got a little bit
definitely repetitive
but
towards the end. But
yeah.
like it's just general stuff like, oh, winter's coming. Oh, we're fucked. Oh, we needed to build a.
Oh, this animal's leaving. Oh, this animal's came back, or this animal's died because they didn't have food, or this animal died because of the winter.
This game took a lot. Like this game took like about an hour or so of gameplay, and that was just for like to get one ending.
It feels longer though.
Yeah,
I think because the repetition and.
Yeah, but I think once you start a new game and you can just click through the this is a really interesting. I'm gonna say it's a visual novel, but it's a very interesting visual novel.
It feels like a visual novel. At first, I thought it was an RPG, but it's really there's a little bit of strategy, but you you can change your paths, which is nice. I think it was $20. I don't remember. I feel like if you can get it for 10 or 15, it's pretty entertaining. I guess it depends on how much you're going to get into it. Like how much do you like the source material, and whether you.
This could also serve as a nice little education tool.
Yeah, it feels like an education tool of sorts.
Because it's also teaching you, basically because you're basically trying to manage this city. I think this manages a lot.
City.
And it deals with the pain of managing a city.
Sort of the theme of this week, unintentionally.
Much better.
Future city, animal city.
Much better than how.
I'd give it for sure. I feel like an 8.5 or 9. I don't really give to 10s, but I thought it was really well. They designed it well. Even though it started to get kind of same old near the end, I think going back and then switching your choices up would probably give a bit more game to it.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I was trying to say. This game deals with a lot of consequences much better than most actual games that deal with raising a city, like SimCity. Mm-hmm. You just basically are let's just build some plots, build some cities.
I think it's because they sort of make the characters, each character has their own sort of personality
and agenda. You have two characters who want to build one character wants to build a windmill, another guy doesn't. Once the guy's let's build the windmill, he gets fucking chased out by dogs.
It feels like a little bit like a simpler version of Civ 5 or something, or Crusader Kings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock up that sheep because that sheep is buying too much. He's getting under my skin.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot simpler Crusader Kings in that sense. Yeah, because I don't have to throw my kid into cages and sell my wife on the farm or something.
For that, I give it a 9 out of 10.
9 baths, 4 hooves. 9.4. I don't know. I give it an 8.5, maybe a 9, if you want to round up. All right, let's go buy off. Don't you forget to
let's go shoot some wild hogs passing through our area.